Hey, everybody.
Hello there. This is Josh.
Greetings.
Oh, God. We botched that real hard.
Yeah, you did.
Well, I was going to say it, but you jumped in. I'm Drew, and this is Sexy Nerd Science, Season 4, Episode 16. Are we starting over?
Nope, we're just giving you silence.
All right. This is...
We just don't have a lot of material today, so we're
oh.
filling it with Dead Space.
Dead Space is...
1 and 2.
Dead Space is a terrifying game. We will not talk about that. It's super scary. We got a great show for you for this pre-Independence Day, post-Independence Day show. What's everybody been up to? We got anything cool going on in the last week for us?
I was driving all around Nebraska for work, which was fun.
That's boring. Dale, what'd you do? I know you posted a couple pictures on our Instagram from the train station.
No, we already talked about that. That was a while ago.
I know. I'm making banter. Talking about like the pictures you posted.
I mean, like the future stuff is more impressive, or not impressive, but like more noteworthy.
Stuff we're gonna talk about.
Well, like I don't know if I'll be able to talk with you guys next week or whatnot, but I'm going on a cruise on this Saturday, so it's going to be very difficult to, over the internet through the cruise, talk to you guys. Hopefully it's
sad. I'm gonna be sad to not hear your voice through text.
I'll do my best.
Do you have any plans for tomorrow or the next day?
Well, I have a friend's father recently passed, so on Thursday and Friday, I'll be doing a viewing and a funeral for that. But on the Independence Day, the 4th of July, we are doing a barbecue / beach day at the beach.
At the beach?
At the beach.
You have a beach?
Josh.
Well, we have we're Michigan, so we have a lot of lakes. So we're going to a lake.
Well, they're not going to any of the big ones, not the big 5.
Not the big 5, even though we only have 4 that touch Michigan.
Huron or Superior or Erie or the other one I can't remember. Ontario or Huron.
Come on. It's named after the state.
Michigan.
I don't know if he said that one already. I was like, Michigan? Did he say that?
I said it either.
Well, it spells Holmes.
Yeah, Holmes. That's why I was doing So anyway, yeah, none of the big 5. So
no, we're going to a small lake called Kensington Lake.
Kensington Lake?
Kensington.
Oh.
It's at Kensington Park.
Well, that's north of 96. South of 96 is Island Lake State Park. And so that's where we're going.
Sounds like it's more like at Kensington Beach, but I could be wrong.
The beach is called Island Lake Recreation Center.
Josh, any plans for this week?
I got some pretty cool bro tanks.
Some growth of July gear.
Yeah. I'm gonna dress like the party's coming to me and just see who invites me to their parties on the 4th of July.
I'll see what we got going on. I have a party tomorrow night, friends and family deal with some of my sister's friends-ish. And then
some of my sisters.
Yeah. And then probably a family get together at my pool on the 4th of July. So
your pool?
Yeah, the one at my parents' house.
Like in-ground pool?
Yeah, the in-ground pool at my parents' house.
You already went swimming this week. You don't get to go twice.
True.
So
how come we don't go swimming more?
Because it just got up yesterday.
Wait, got up?
Yeah, like...
Is it above ground pool?
No, like got filled and chlorinated and all that fun fancy
So it's cold.
It's probably going to be fucking super cold.
Super cold, especially in the super hot.
You got like 1.5 meters in order for that line to actually be almost irrelevant for the water, unless you circulate it.
What is it?
I think it's like 1.5 meters, and then anything below that is irrelevant to what the sun is. Not irrelevant, but very, very negligible.
Well, so with my dad's pool, it's got a intake and an outtake, like an intake and a It's a recirculation deal, so it pulls from the bottom and puts it back out at the top.
Started from the bottom, now we here.
So it's pretty neat. I like it. He used to have a gas heater, but then I chopped the line to the gas, and we never got it fixed. So I was taking out a call before you dig.
My favorite gas heater is the sun.
Yeah. So,
wow, Dale, could that eye roll get any larger?
The things you say make me want to hurt everybody all over the place.
It is Independence Day. Josh, you want to give us some sexy news here?
Yes, I just wanted to start off with something that I've just been looking for reasons to cry on the internet lately. It was a couple weeks ago. We never got to talk about it. I wish I would have talked about it more. But definitely not that the gorilla. Coco the gorilla passed away on June 19th. I know it was a couple weeks ago. But it was one of the most well-known gorillas to use a modified version of ASL sign language to communicate with people. Was to me, honestly, like there's a lot of like really awesome things that came from this. A lot of really good signs where like you could see like, you know, she was showing signs of like empathy and sympathy about things that were sad. Like when one of her caretakers had a baby, like she was like, oh, I'm so happy for her, and like was able to like sign the word like baby without like knowing. So like that was kind of cool. She had her own cat, a few cats actually, I think. And no, she didn't like murder them, but they all died of natural causes, and you got to see that she was like remorseful for it. Or not remorseful, like she was sad and like
remorseful as in she murdered them.
No, she didn't murder them.
Murder.
But yeah, and like also when like Robin Williams died, she like signed that she was sad. Yeah, pretty sad for Coco the gorilla. Lots of big things came from it. There's been a lot of talk about, you know, whether or not she was actually speaking or if she was just communicating like with like random words and we were projecting the meanings on those. But I don't want to talk about that because that's a debate for linguists and some other people out there.
Of which Josh and I and Dale are not. So
I mean, philosophy of language somewhat for me. But
oh my God, shut
just
up.
saying.
Whatever.
Risto.
Oh my gosh. You can't tell me that you are now a master 10,000 hours of
make me an expert.
Expert master. We're talking about the same. I guess that's a philosophy of language, right?
I mean, using the correct words to mean things. Yes,
Wow.
are one of the things that we talk about.
Whatever.
But no, just like meanings for words. But yeah, that was sad. And just wanted to start off everyone's podcast with some sad news. Also, the Andre the Giant HBO special is super depressing too. I had no idea he died alone.
Who?
Andre the Giant?
Oh yeah.
Like in a hotel room in France. He was like, when he was at his dad's funeral, and then like he's just like, I'm gonna go home, like wake me up at 9:30. And then like they tried waking him up in the morning, and then like
I know this is like not a good time to joke about like that because we're talking about him dying, but I had a really funny mix mashup bit of Andre the Giant and somebody else that I was thinking of the other day, and I can't think of it now.
I'm sure he would have loved it, but no, there was just like one of his like really good friends was like, and I wish I could have been there for him. He's like, there's no crying in wrestling, and then he like shed a tear, and I was just like, oh my God, this is gonna kill me. Like, but it was really good. So I know that's not necessarily sexy news, but
yeah, well,
I watch those things because I like a good cry every once in a while.
you know what what else I'm gonna do this week?
Cry?
I am gonna cry. You know why?
Why are you gonna cry?
Because we're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today we celebrate our Independence Day.
Fireworks make you cry?
Yeah.
Getting shot with fireworks makes me cry.
Yeah. There's an organized firework fight in Omaha somewhere. So hopefully nobody gets in trouble or hurt for that.
The key trick is to wear a motorcycle helmet with a full visor. Then you can't get shot in the face.
The key trick is to not do it. How about that, Dale?
Not do it? Not get shot with fireworks, Dale?
I don't get shot with fireworks.
You don't?
No.
Why not?
I really hear you.
Why don't I? Because I don't play with fireworks.
Exactly. So you don't go to this organized firework fight.
Yep.
There was a firefight. Yeah. No. You don't go and do that.
That was our segment called Independence Day, motherfucker. By the way, this we really wanted to do some real sexy news, and so this section probably not appropriate for kids. I mean, I just dropped an MFer back there, but yeah.
I mean, the podcast is explicit on all
things. I know. Podcasts. So we are gonna talk about. So I was looking for like sexy news in America and Taco Bell, and so I was like, what's sexy and American? And then I was like, literally. So
hold on. First of all,
sexy facts about.
You said American.
I know. I said sexy facts about America. This guy searched sexy American.
And
two completely different Google searches.
If you're interested, let me know. I'll send you what I...
Was it a bunch of big black cocks?
Yeah, it's actually very close.
It was a couple websites that ended in the XXX genre. But I am going
Grand Canyon.
From psychcentral.com, 11 surprising facts facts about America's sexual behaviors. Woo! Insert your noise of here. Or I can just do it. This was a study done at the Indiana University, big old party college in Indiana, about America and their sexualness. So, number one, feel free to chime in, guys, with any comments, questions, or concerns. Number one, condom use is pretty uncommon. Only about 1 in 4 acts of sexual intercourse are protected by a condom.
So real quick, I'm gonna combat you. We're gonna call this sexy fact combatation. Okay, and this is a new segment, one and one time only segment, where I'm gonna do one and Josh is gonna do one. I'm gonna do one about independent sex facts about masturbation.
What?
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Why can't we just do these in succession?
No, because it's an Independence Day podcast.
So we're independently doing it.
Yes.
To make this so suitable for children, we should just read off both lists of facts.
I'm actually going to just say random American things when you guys start talking in the middle of things.
Propane. But yeah,
Texas.
Condoms are, of course, the most reliable method to avoid sexually transmitted diseases while having sex. And apparently us as Americans only using about 1 in 4 acts of sexual intercourse. So
Las Vegas.
If you guys can hear, there's a baby crying right now.
10 scientific facts about masturbation. Number 1 is a majority of both men and women masturbate. However, men are more likely to have done it.
You bastard. That was one of mine.
No way.
Yeah.
No.
Apple pie.
You're a bastard.
Oh,
because this is sexual behaviors. Masturbation is a sexual behavior.
I guess that's true.
Beyonce.
Yeah, he's still
doing American things. Thank you, Dale.
Texas.
Okay. So, contrary to popular wisdom, people surveyed said that their sexual pleasure was just as intense with condom use as it is without. So, apparently, we are not using condoms, but people can't tell the difference between when they are using them and when they're not.
Wait, hold on. Is that the second fact?
That was
baseball.
Condom use is just as pleasurable as regular sex, according to people surveyed.
Well, those people surveyed are fucking wrong.
Having food delivered.
Number 3, since I'm beating Drew here.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, fine. Yeah, go for it.
When considering people who have testosterone levels within the normal range, research found higher levels of testosterone is linked to having more desire for masturbation, but only among women. Among men, testosterone levels are unrelated in masturbatory desire.
I was nodding.
Bald eagles.
So Americans like variety. Research detailed over 40 different combinations of sexual activity when participants were asked to describe their most recent sexual encounter. So we like to switch it up here in America.
NASCAR.
So we're doing one for one.
Apparently.
I'm just saying stuff randomly when you guys are talking.
I love it.
Like I said bald eagles and baseball. I don't think you guys heard either of those.
4 is, or I guess 3 technically, is people of all ages masturbate. Younger people are more likely to report doing it, but they're definitely not the only ones who practice self-stimulation. For a look at how masturbation and other sexual preferences vary across the lifespan, see here, which is a link to Josh's. I'm just kidding.
Number 4, men orgasm from regular intercourse most often. Basically saying that women require more of a variety of sexual acts in order to orgasm, whereas men could get off with a toothpick and a cantaloupe.
What's the toothpick for?
No,
Summer camp.
Persons of all sexual orientations masturbate, including asexual folks. In fact, survey studies of self-identified asexuals have found that most of them report masturbating. However, the nature of their masturbation may be quite different than it is for sexual persons. Example, some asexuals engage in non-directed masturbation, meaning masturbation without accompanying erotic fantasies. So they're just doing it to clear the pipes.
Multiple varieties of barbecue.
Toothpick. Wait,
just kidding.
what was that, Dale?
Multiple varieties of barbecue.
So number 5, men don't have a clue when it comes to their partner's orgasm. And don't we all know this, ladies? 85% of men reported that their partner had an orgasm during their most recent sexual activity. However, only 64% of the women have reported having an orgasm.
I am so sorry.
The difference of over 20% wasn't accounted for simply because of same-sex relationships. So same-sex partners weren't counted in this survey there. It suggests that men overestimate their partner's sexual experience. Yeah, only because men suck at life.
Yeah.
Oprah.
What?
Oprah.
Oprah. She's world loved, okay? Not
Just because she's not world loved. She started in the United States. Fine. Corn dogs, adult illiteracy, and Amazon.
Oh, okay. Vibrators are frequently used by women during masturbation. The vibrator was reportedly the 5th electric device approved for home use after the sewing machine, fan, tea kettle, and toaster. In other words, people had vibrators in their homes long before television sets and vacuum cleaners.
Laser tag.
Most teenagers aren't doing it as often as you think. Only 27% of teens surveyed said they had intercourse in the past 3 months. And they've put teens anywhere from 14 to 19.
So
mobility scooters.
Vibrators aren't just for women. A national U.S. survey found that 16% of men reported having used a vibrator during masturbation before. This survey also found that guys who used vibrators reported the best erectile function, the most sexual desire, and the most satisfying sex lives.
More of us try out a gay or lesbian or bisexual activity more than once in our lives. The survey found that 8% of men and 7% of women identified themselves as either gay, lesbian, or bisexual, but this percentage was much lower than the proportion of individuals who have said yes to a question about whether they've ever had same-gender sexual activity in their lives.
There was a hiccup there. I lost the whole train of that sentence, but I'm going to go ahead and say I kissed somebody straight on the mouth that wasn't a woman, so I guess that counts.
Kid Rock, Chinese food, and fruit roll-ups.
Drew just can't keep it together with these American words because, oh God. Survey research has found the clitoral stimulation as opposed to vaginal insertion is the most women's preferred masturbatory technique.
Number 9, men give oral sex just as much as they receive it. Contrary to popular wisdom, again, Men, especially older men, give as much oral sex to women as women give to men, while the difference is greatest in the 20 to 24-year-old range. The tables turn as we age.
Slip and slides, Play-Doh, and apple picking.
Oh my god, that's perfect. Despite what we may have heard in the media about growing epidemic of porn-induced erectile dysfunction, research has found that there is no strong or consistent linkage between men's porn use during masturbation and their erectile function.
Napoleon Dynamite, mobility scooters again.
Again?
Thank you, Dale. Number 10, both men and women masturbate. Vast majority of people of all age groups masturbate, while men regularly out-masturbate women, with over 80% of 20 to 29-year-old men reporting masturbating in the last year. But women are no slackers either, with 64 to 72% of the women in the same age range reporting masturbating in that year.
When masturbating, our perception of what is sexually attractive and desirable changes. In fact, research has found that heightened sexual arousal achieved through masturbation can make almost anything and anyone seem more sexually appealing. Man, I want to fuck that bowl of fruit.
Buying in bulk.
That's a sexy bowl of fruit, which was a YouTube video that we should all watch later.
Buying in bulk, Dale?
So number 11 and the final one that I have, similar to one of our previous points, more people in the survey said they received oral sex than those who said they gave oral sex. If everyone was telling the truth, these numbers would be within a few percentage points of each other. Instead, it looks like we like to brag. We see discrepancies in women claiming to have received oral sex, and we see discrepancies in men claiming to have given oral sex.
Free refills on soft drinks.
My last one is frequent masturbation could be potentially good for your health. Research has found that in men, masturbation to orgasm is associated with enhanced immune system functioning. Learning more about this study and some of the other potential health benefits of masturbation.
I'm going to live forever.
So that was independently sexy facts for Independence Day.
24-hour convenience stores, national parks, and then like screens for like keep bugs out.
Can you find one actively sexy thing on that list, Dale?
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Rules. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
Yeah.
Every time I have a peanut butter
I
sandwich.
said Beyonce.
I guess that's
That
true.
was the first sexy thing. And he also said bald eagles.
I did say bald eagles.
Sexy.
Here's something sexy. Abraham Lincoln's beard.
Oh,
there you go.
oh man.
Pickup trucks.
Show
Air conditioning.
Oh, man.
Be dead.
The Obamas.
Ooh.
Making a list about America.
American thing.
All right. Well, we're going to jump right into nerdy news. Thanks.
And jump right out of America, too.
Thanks for sticking with us through all that nonsense going on right there at the beginning.
We were super desperate for some sexy news.
Yeah. If you couldn't tell, that's why all the sex, we're super desperate anyway. Nerdy news. We got some brand spanking new Dragon Ball stuff news here. Dale brought this to our attention. So Dale, you're going to spearhead this.
Spirit Dale.
Sounds good. I am just vaguely aware of it because I watch YouTube so much. But Dragon Ball Super, if you guys are familiar with that, came out with, or the people who do that, Toei Animation, all those people, you know, they actually have a new series out called Super Dragon Ball Heroes. And they just came out, that episode just came out on the 1st of July. And you can find it online somewhere, but sometimes they're on YouTube or whatnot. It is very, very good episode, the first one. So please check it out. I don't want to spoil it for people. It just came out. So
it's very weird.
It's very different. It's different than the normal Dragon Ball Z, but I think it's something that we can get into.
It's also, from what me and Drew were looking at, it's basically a video game that they've turned into an actual anime online.
Yeah, so I mean, there is Super Dragon Ball Heroes. It looks like a game. Looks like animated cutscenes from a game. I'm not there's no factual basis behind that. I just saw another video that looked like a game, but it's very.
It's Toei Animation and Bandai working together, from what I saw. So that would explain why it's very video gamey.
Yeah. So the premise is similar to your Street Fighter / Mortal Kombat / actual Dragon Ball Z fighting games.
Most of the new ones, the universe games.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So it's pretty interesting. They're pretty short, less than 10 minutes from what I saw on the other episodes.
There's only one out.
There's one out, but there's also searches for episode 2 and 3.
Yeah, there's trailers and people type that stuff in, but there's only the one episode out. It'll be every Sunday usually.
Mm-hmm.
Two other things that are American: Groundhog Day and Shark Week.
Oh, I love Shark Week. Tosh got some sweet ass Shark Week sunglasses.
First of all, Shark Week is only American?
No, but it's very popular. It's popularized in America.
I guess.
Also, the Super Bowl and John Wayne movies.
You're just going to do American things throughout the whole podcast, aren't you?
Well, I mean, it's Independence Day. I have to. Uncle Sam, Captain America.
All right, so so the next bit is we're just going to touch on Okamicon here again for the week before.
Still don't know our booth number.
We do not know our booth number, so just bear with us. We will get that information.
It's a podcast
ASAP.
arcade. It's a little.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we.
Hopefully, we're right in the same spot. We had a good kind of a view.
Good corner
view. But even that place that Worst Common Podcast was in.
Hopefully our neighbors aren't so noisy. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. I can tell you that, we are in the expo, or Josh and Drew will be in the expo hall. Their number will start with a PA, Podcast Arcade. So it's either PA 1 to PA 11. So it's in the same corner as it was in previous years. Have you guys been? So what are you guys going to do about the pro wrestling again?
So they're trying to soundproof that off now, and also have less wrestling noises throughout the time, and more hey, we're going to do wrestling at this time. So try to get your interviews done before and after that time. So
yeah, I'm hoping
smart.
A wrestling schedule. They were kind of loosey goosey with it last year. But kind of something that Josh and I noticed, the autograph tables, photo op booths for the celebrity guests are super close to the back alley behind the secret alley behind the podcast arcade. So we're really hoping that we can utilize that. Really
to be able to get guests behind the scenes to come over to Podcast Alley and then go back over to the autograph booths.
So, and then the other bit that I kind of wanted to touch on is they're going to still have all of the cosplay contests and everything, but it does look like they're trying to streamline it again this year. Even a little bit better. So hopefully we can watch that. But that's just a little bit of news I saw on the Facebook page last couple days.
I really wanted to run by just the ticket prices and everything for Okamicon, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Yeah. So if you guys are interested in going to Okamicon, even though I will not be there, Okamicon, you can go to okamicon.com/tickets. They're $45 right now before the event, but at the door they'll be $55 for all 3 days. Or you can pay $25 for Friday, $30 for Saturday, and $25 for Sunday. Saturday is always the meatier of the days, so check that out. Like I said, okamicon.com/tickets. And then okamicon.com has pretty much everything you need to know about the dates, where it's at, locations, where to park, hotels, anything that you need to know about it. So check that out.
Woo. All right. So we're going to kind of get into something we talked about last week a little bit here. We're going to do some Luke Cage season 2 spoilies. Dale was really excited to.
Dale wanted us to talk about this last week.
Yeah, he was really excited to talk about it last week, and
I plowed through them pretty quickly.
Josh and I were dropping the
Bumbaclad ball.
We were dropping the Luke Cage door right on Dale's little toesies, and we didn't watch.
Oh, because it's a cage. Got it.
Yeah, the little door to Luke Cage on Dale's toesies, like I said before. And now we're coming back to, be a little nicer to him, and we can let him do his thing.
Let me out of the cage.
Yeah, let's let Dale out of his Luke Cage.
So I thought the second season of Luke Cage was way better than the first season. Luke Cage, I guess the character who he plays, I'm not sure the actor's name, I think is a phenomenal character. I'm really impressed with it. I would have to say he's my favorite character out of the entire MCU universe right now. I really like Doctor Strange, but then Luke Cage would be the second most I like, if not the first. So I really enjoy how they portrayed a lot of stuff. I'm glad they went in depth with he is a person. He has to deal with all these struggles throughout the show. I liked all the characters that they brought in. I liked the new Jamaican bad guy. I don't know the names. I don't know the characters' names. Bushmaster, yeah. The actor who played Bushmaster was on point. I really enjoyed the interaction between them. They had a mutual respect for each other, yet they both wanted to hurt each other. I thought the dynamic there of like I said before, like Luke Cage as a character going through struggle, figuring out, him wearing his heart on his sleeve, and everybody can see that he's internalizing the pain of having to deal with cleaning up Harlem. I really enjoyed, and I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to spoil the whole thing for everybody, but the ending is just so minute, is so, I don't even know the words for it. It's powerful. It's really a strong sense of what power could turn into and what everyone was afraid of from the beginning. It reminds me of that scene, if you guys ever seen House of Cards, where he's the end of House of Cards, I think season 3, he knocks on the table.
He sees
what?
Nothing.
It's really iconic at the very end. Luke Cage becomes what he was afraid he was going to turn into. And I guess that's really all I want to say with that. But
do we think, I don't think Luke Cage is turning into the character. Like, I don't think Luke Cage is turning into the person who he was afraid to turn into, simply because that last conversation he had about, like, I'm going to catch you on your shit, right? And he's like, I'm counting on it. Like, kind of like that reminds me of the whole, like, Batman Superman motif. Like, Batman and Superman kind of have this deal where, like, obviously Superman knows he could be a god, but, like, he's counting on Batman to make sure that never happens.
I think Luke Cage will, in season 3, will come to a situation where he's pushed to the line. He's pushed to that spot where he doesn't want to cross, or he's been hesitant to cross, at least in the early part of the episodes. And he'll be forced to have to make a decision to destroy everything he built and to start where he was, be that grassroots, good guy motif, being the hero of the people, or he'll cross that line to become the kingpin of Harlem.
See, so my thought was, it weirded me out because he said he didn't want it.
Burn it down. But then the next scene was him getting it.
That's why, because absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Look at you learning something in high school English class.
Shut your mouth.
So my thought with that is, do we assume it's all master plan for him? or is he falling?
No, I think he's falling. I think he's trying to find the good. He's taking the bad and trying to find something good out of it. And to find that something good, he keeps going a little bad, a little bad, a little bad. He's doing something he's always been doing stuff illegal, obviously, based on the whole character, the vigilante view of it. But at the same time, he's been doing just the bare minimum of what it takes to be illegal. He hasn't killed, he hasn't traded drugs or anything like that, but he's beat people up.
He's definitely killed inadvertently, or I guess we don't see anybody specifically die, but when he shoots, he purposely deflects a bullet with his shoulder and back at somebody and hits him in the throat.
Yeah, I find that as, you do that to yourself almost.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think this is a situation, and it's made to look like this. That's the whole point, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
It's made to look that he is struggling with the power he's given and how to use it.
So do we see the parallels of Bushmaster and Cage, the same parallels as
T'Challa
and
yes.
Okay, I wanted to know if anybody
I saw
else
that at least
caught that. So you have the powerful good and the powerful bad, or the powerful chaotic. I don't know where it would technically fall on the spectrum. They're both kind of chaotic. It's chaotic good and chaotic.
Be careful, you're getting to Dungeons and Dragons territory.
Well, I mean, they would fall similarly on the spectrum, I would think.
I would say Luke Cage is neutral good, where he could be chaotic, he could be lawful, depending on what's the situation.
Yeah.
But then he's always good. But then you have somebody like Bushmaster, and he would be, in my opinion, chaotic neutral. So he can be crazy all the time, but he's not evil and not good at the same time. He's being evil.
He's
doing evil things for revenge. And if you were to put that into an eyes of an anti-hero, Deadpool, the Punisher, you have those people who do kill for revenge or do kill for good.
Like some sort of killmonger.
Exactly. What's the difference? What's the difference between that character who's chaotic but doing something for the right reasons? So it's kind of hard to put Bushmaster in that evil sense because he is the reasons behind it.
I loved Bushmaster as a
I
character.
was going to say, his character was great.
So I'm going to Jamaica here next week, and I'm going to get some curry goat. I'm super excited about that.
Dale, if you find me a Jamaican drum.
Give me some Nightshade.
Okay, neither of those things are happening.
Why not?
I'm not spending money on crap you guys don't need.
I thought we were brethren.
Okay, you're not getting strong, and I just don't want to spend money on crap that you're never going to touch.
It's going to be the podcast drum.
That's another reason why I'm not going to get it.
By the way, I'm super sorry for all this cultural appropriation. For whatever reason, I love doing voices, and like
I was going to say something.
The last 3 days after watching, I couldn't stop. I was just I'm like, where was all this Jamaican coming? It's Jamaican me crazy. I've also been drinking a lot of Jamaican me crazy coffee.
Can we talk about cultural appropriations? Do we have time for that?
I mean, next week in Sexy News, cultural appropriation.
No, I don't want to get too far into like what is, what isn't, all that stuff. I find it.
So,
I want to say one thing about it is as Americans, this is obviously 4th of July type of podcast. We don't have a specific culture. All the things I named off, like Coca-Cola, John Deere, shitty beer, all these things that
it's a fucking country song, Dale.
America is known for is the culture we have. But 90% of the things that are our culture is literally spread around the world. Everyone uses it. Or, we have that Southern country charm, but that's pretty much it. Everywhere else in the world has their own definitive culture they've had for many more years than we've had. and it's very difficult to, I don't want to say talk about cultural appropriations, because it's, if somebody was to make fun of, or if somebody was to do that about Americans, what would they do? Like, there's negative, obviously there's stereotypes for everything, but like, how would you act like an American?
I saw a video today of a guy in whiteface. And
so all white-faced is America?
No, I was just saying, like, there's things that they can do that are
I think
white tropes, but there's nothing that's like an American technically trope, except for, like you said at the end of that rant earlier, which was making lists about America, being self-centered in a sense. But I mean,
but what's the difference between being self-centered and being proud of the things that you do? Rodeos, anti-perspirant deodorant.
I mean, I think another thing too, I mean, like, it's hard to, like, I mean, as Americans, like Americans, yeah, we have a privilege in the world, unfortunately. Like, we've done that, like, I mean, the same way that, like, any dominant superpower usually has some sort of privilege.
So what you're saying is, like, along with white privilege, Americans also have American privilege
for our culture, in a sense. Like, it's hard to approach.
We honestly have American privilege, because I've been to third world countries many times, and you flash that American passport, and you're ticketed anywhere. You're not given a second look. You look at that. You don't even have to open it. You just show the American passport. You see the blue with the eagle. They don't even open it.
Yeah, it's really weird to say. I mean, like, I don't think appropriation is the right word, because in that sense, like, we would, like, I mean, in our ignorance, we would call any cultural appropriation just like we're Americanizing this area, or we're bringing freedom or democracy or whatever we want to call it.
Well, so at the last Okamicon, because it's on topic here, I had Charlie, and then somebody was doing henna tattoos, and I had the conversation with her mother, and she said she wouldn't want her to get henna tattoos because it's cultural appropriation, which I think if you're doing it in an irrespectable manner, sure. But if there's an educational, I mean, even a sentence about, what they used to, or like how they used to use henna tattoos and stuff, I don't think it's any sort of cultural appropriation. I feel like it's
what's wrong with just liking the different cultures?
And that's what I'm saying.
There's nothing. Yeah, that admiration is not appropriation. Like,
yeah, which is the point I tried to get across. Is, if it's something that is enjoyed and it's not being made a mockery of, then I don't think there's any appropriation. I just as Josh and I were talking beforehand, we like the Jamaican accent. It's not anything that we're making fun of when we.
No, but I mean, when I do it to say something funny, like, or like when I was joking, like, for whatever reason, like, I was just like, bumbaclad this, like that can be, I mean, that's a step in that direction. But if I go full, like, Jar Jar Binks, where, like, I'm creating a whole entire, like, and for those of you guys who don't know, like, Jar Jar Binks is a predominantly, like, racist character. Like, lots of the Star Wars aliens have some weird racial overtones to them, which are appropriation. In that sense, like, you're using the voice for comedy,
That's the first time I've heard that.
You've never heard that about Jar Jar Binks?
No.
What about, I mean, there's also the I can't remember the name of the Toldarians. Yeah, the Toldarian, like, the whole entire race of people, like, they're, like, predominantly Jewish in, like, how people, like, or how they're portrayed physically. Like, it's like Jewish stereotypes.
Are you talking about, like, the people who were
the guy
Sith?
Anakin and his mom in the very beginning, like episode 1.
You talking about the guy he was owned to?
Yeah, like the slave owner there.
Yeah.
He was. I mean, there's predominant like Jewish stereotypes in that character, including like a Yiddish like.
I agree with what you're saying, but I mean it's hard to. Let me give an example. I play Dungeons and Dragons. We've talked about that a few times before. As part of the game, you want to role play. You need. Sometimes you can do voices, or sometimes you want to do, voices or the way you act in a certain way to show you how the character is. And I think with TV or movies, there's always going to be that type of stereotype or character that is similar to something or is like something or almost identical, just because it's not trying to make fun of, it's just trying to diversify and create a new alien race. You have to create something from nothing, so you have to take, and this is one of the things that I've learned very quickly,
stereotypes for like if I had, like a money-loving thief character, I'm not going to give him stereotypes of a race or a culture that is known for being a like money-grubbing thief.
So there's the adverse side of that, and there's if I don't know, I feel like if you want a character, if you're basing your character off of like if you're basing a character off of Jamaicans, and maybe going with Jar Jar Binks there, like if like their race is supposed to mimic Jamaicans in the Star Wars alien world.
Not just Jamaican. I mean, like,
I know. I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah.
If you're doing that same thing for, if you want, okay, then for Dale's D&D group, he wants to make his character like Jar Jar Binks. I mean, you're going to say, okay, he's Jar Jar Binks, but Jar Jar Binks is based off of X, so you're basing it off of X. Is that, I mean, I think there's just different levels to it.
And I think doing it after Jar Jar Binks would be okay. Yeah, I mean, in that sense.
No, it's the same thing. Like we talk about dwarves in D&D, and one of the biggest things we talk in Scottish accents, or we try to. We obviously can't do it as good as other people, but is that Scottish appropriation or Scottish heritage or whatever you want to call it?
Technically, yeah. I mean,
because you think of a dwarf, you think of that Scottish accent, that big burly that voice.
Gimli's accent,
World of Warcraft. There's tons of it. I mean,
I think like Nordic stuff, like
what? Say it again.
Like I think like Nordic things, and like I mean like there's English, but like I also like I wouldn't like I think I could see dwarves not having that accent as well. Like.
Well, I know, but because of
earwig over there,
I see it
scaring the crap out of me.
Oh, they don't bite unless you do something to them. I have to bug-proof the basement. I know. Anyway,
culture appropriation is a really weird subject. I don't know if we have too much time to dive into it any more than this, but
let's.
I just want to make sure that I apologize ahead of time for like making my accent before someone's like, Josh is doing this and not acknowledging the fact that like it could be bad, and I was like, hey, it could be bad, and I apologize.
My brother and me podcast that I listened to, the one that I had you guys kind of listen to for the deal, they had a gag where they talk about it's called Glass Shark. You guys can look it up on your own, but they had gotten flack, whereas at this point, like fan groups in Facebook won't let you post that goof on the page because they didn't mean that they didn't mean to be racist, but the intent came across that way to some of the listeners. And so I mean,
and that's what I want to make sure I'm clear about. My intent is
but so their whole thing is impact is greater than intent. So sorry if this impacted you in a way that was negative.
I feel that intent is greater than impact.
it's just, I mean, you got to be tactful and I mean, open to things like that. I know when we did our podcast and we were interviewing the suicide prevention group at Planet Comic-Con, one of the things I said numerous times was, they committed suicide. And she's like, hey, like that can be really kind of offensive if you think about it. Like, instead of like, it makes it not treating it like it was like an illness, instead of like, it's like you're making it seem like it's not an illness when it is an illness. You wouldn't say someone committed death by cancer. Like, it's an illness. It overtook them. So when, instead of saying,
but it's not, but suicide isn't the thing that killed them. It's an act. It's not like the thing that killed them. Depression or something like that killed them.
well, yeah. And so that's why
Or however they died killed them.
Suicide. If you want to be sensitive to someone, like to people in that instance, you wouldn't use the term committed suicide. You would say, was killed by suicide or overcome.
Or you could even say died from suicide.
Yeah, death by suicide.
But they didn't. But that's, you can't say that they died from suicide. Suicide is an act of doing, is the act of death by self, whatever.
Yeah.
So how can they die from suicide? They can die from a gun or die from poison.
And you could say it that way too.
But they ultimately committed suicide.
Correct. But
it's just
one is more insensitive, especially to survivors in that sense as well.
I don't get it.
I mean, it's fine if you don't get it, but to understand that one is less insensitive than the other. I mean,
everything can be sensitive to somebody else.
Which is part of there's actually like 5 goofs that they won't let you post in the Mim Bim Bam one was more so cultural appropriation.
And that's all my thing is, like, I'm just trying to be sensitive for the people that it could be an issue with. Oh, I heard that crunch. Sorry, we just killed an insect over here, sadly.
It came into my house. It died from suicide.
Don't. See, and there we go, right? Off the rails. But yeah, I don't want to.
Says the guy that said something super racist before we even recorded.
Probably.
Blind science. We'll cloud cover this one with the blind science question. Dale, you want to go ahead with this one?
Cumulonimbus clouds.
I would love to talk to Josh about clouds. Excuse me. Excuse me real quick. Drew, go ahead and warm it up to what we're going to talk about.
All right. So part of what we're going to talk about today is the types of clouds and their meanings, but to piggyback off of Dale's question last week, and because Josh was super cocky about his what was it?
Borealis, the north wind?
Philosophical language. We're gonna also do the Latin meanings for each of the names.
Ooh, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I know.
The Latin meanings?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I don't know if I know that. I know the 4 winds that are Greek and Roman, like Borealis being the north wind. But oh man, I know like my stratus clouds are my super high elevation clouds. I know my cumulonimbus are my big poofy low storm clouds. Oh man,
you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 types of major clouds.
8 major types of clouds.
Yep.
So stratus clouds, cumulonimbus. I think there's multiple cumulus clouds, and I can't remember all of them. Oh man, I feel like there's another one that I'm missing too as well. You guys might have me stumped. You know, like every week I always joke and I'm just like, let's talk about clouds. And I never studied that one. I should have, now that I come to think about it.
So I think, like, you honestly, even the stuff you've said has been incorrect.
Really?
Yeah. So, are you going to call, quits already, or you want to think anymore, or?
Yeah, my cloud knowledge is limited to the things I remember in 6th grade, 7th grade earth science.
Okay, so real quick, the two that he said was the cumulonimbus.
Yes.
And what did you say that was?
Isn't that one of your lower poofy clouds?
I mean, cumulus is below 6,000 feet.
Yeah.
And so cumulonimbus extends from the low and goes to the high.
Okay.
And that's usually 90% of the time storm clouds, rain clouds, something like that.
I remember that one. And then
That's the easy one. Everyone knows that one.
My stratus is the highest ones.
Stratus is the lowest ones.
Those are the lowest
Really?
ones. Yeah. So cirrus clouds are the
Cirrus, that's what it was. I said that too at one point in time.
Do you want to just go alphabetically down this list here?
I don't have that list, whatever you're looking at.
Bottom.
You want to go high to bottom?
Yeah, if you guys can.
Okay, so we're also going to tie in the Latin meaning here, like we said, which
Cirrus named after the constellation Cirrus?
No, just the Latin meaning. That's not the Latin like God name, because that does not always translate to a god. So Cirrus is the first high level, and that Latin meaning is curl of hair. Cirrocumulus is the second.
Hold on. Let's tell them what they are too.
What?
So like you said, cirrus.
They're like high wispy ones.
Yep, they're wispy, feathery, composed of entirely of ice crystals. They're often the first size of an approaching warm front, and it's at the upper level jet stream.
Okay, you're gonna have to mitigate the meaning or the description, because I don't have that here.
Sounds good.
So cirrocumulus, which is high level, and the Latin meaning is wispy heap. Dale?
Cirrocumulus, layered clouds patterned with small cumulus-form lumpiness. They're also may lined up in streaks or rows, crowds across the sky, denoting localized areas of ascent or cloud axis and descent cloud-free channels. They're above 18,000 feet. So far, these both were.
And the third high level cloud type is cirrostratus, and that means wispy sheet in Latin. And I think that's where Josh was kind of getting confused. But
It's been a long time.
But I think that's between the layers of the ozone and the types of clouds. He's mixing them up, because the stratosphere is the highest level, I am fairly certain.
No,
it's the lowest level.
Lowest level. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So cirrostratus is more of the widespread clouds. They're a veil-like layer, which is similar to stratus clouds, but in the lower level.
And so then your next set, we're going to call the mid-level set, is the alto cumulus, which is in Latin means high heap.
So you said alto stratus?
No, alto cumulus.
Alto cumulus. It's a mid-level of the cumulus, which are more puffy.
And
so
then
you have cirrus at the top, alto at the bottom, and cumulus, stratocumulus. Stratos at the very bottom.
You guys are reading these and having trouble.
No, Circulo, Alto, Stratus, or Strato.
Yeah, so you want to do it in alpha or in not. I want to do it in alphabetical. You want to do it in level height. So it's Cirro. It's high level is Cirrus, Cirrocumulus, Cirrostratus. So that is high level, and then Alto is mid level, Alto Cumulus and Alto Stratus, which are different types in those in the mid region, and then the Stratus set was Nimbostratus, Stratus Cumulus, and Stratus are the low three, and then Cumulonimbus and Cumulus are vertical, and they appear in all three levels. So that was the direction I was going with that.
Stratus are the thin, wavy ones. Cumulus is the very puffy ones. And so you just kind of take those three, and it's like a chart pretty much. You have, you can have them at any layer and any Cumulus Stratus.
Makes sense now.
So the three derivatives are Cumulus, which is heap, Stratus, which is sheet, and then Cirrus, which is wispy. So and then Alto, which is high. So those are they're all intertwined there, and then you also cumulonimbus means rain cloud.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's a stump.
That is a stump for me.
So
after weeks of demanding we talk about clouds.
So he out of the 6 times we did it, he only got 5.
Next bit real quick here. Tesla's doing pretty good, I guess.
Yeah, just in quickie science news, we looked up some Tesla things. Elon Musk tweeted that they did 7,000 cars in 7 days. They actually had to build speaking of tent cities, they actually built a tent expansion onto one of their facilities. So it's a semi-permanent tent that they're doing to expand out to accommodate the higher production that they need to do here. And it seems to be working. So for those of you guys that sold your Tesla stock, sucks to suck.
Who sold their Tesla stock?
Lots of people.
Really?
Yeah.
I did.
Dale, how much is your Bitcoin worth at this point in time?
Ooh, I've been playing with that a little bit lately. Very low amounts.
Really? Didn't you? Okay, so you spent $3 on some micro bits.
I spent. It's actually up today. I spent $0 so far on everything I've ever done. I've then used my computer to mine slowly on what I used. It was BCN, which is Bytecoin. So I mined Bytecoin with my computer. I did it for about maybe a month straight here and there. So obviously I think I lost money in that month. And that was almost a year ago now, maybe longer. And during that time, I took that Bytecoin and I went to these trading sites and I traded the Bytecoin for Bitcoin, Bitcoin for Ethereum, Ethereum for Zen or Zcash, all these different other altcoins. And I've been just on it nonstop, not nonstop, but like on it almost daily, finding something that's I know is going to track upward for the day or what I think is going to track upward for the day based on patterns. I'll buy it low, sell it high, not making a lot of money. But I think total amount of money that it's hard to say money-wise because I have a certain amount of Bitcoin, but I've spent it when it was high. So I had more money then than I do now. Does that make sense?
So real quick, raw numbers then. What's the peak that you've had and what do you have now?
The most amount of money that I think I've ever had was about $200, maybe $250 if I round it up. With just things here and there. I think I had a total in Bitcoin probably about 0.02 Bitcoin. So that's obviously nothing compared to, a lot of things, a lot of people. One Bitcoin right now is worth just under $7,000. At its peak, just under 20,000.
I was gonna say, I remember when it was hitting like 19K.
Yep. So it is trending upward lately, and I am taking advantage of it.
So I watched explained on YouTube or on Netflix about the e-currency or cryptocurrency, and I didn't know that they actually made the Dogecoin, and it's seriously like, as of that production, was like at $2 billion in value, and I seriously cannot believe that. But anyway, we're getting off track here. Tesla is doing pretty good, I guess, in its electronic cars. Then we talked about electronic currency. And now we're going to talk about our Sexy Nerds of the Month, which is YouTubers. Go check them out. You guys can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. If you subscribe, like, and follow those things there, you guys can give us some super awesome kickbacks if you guys sign up for a free Audible trial at SexyNerdScience.com//Audible or audibletrial.com/SexyNerdScience. You get a 1 month free trial of Audible and 1 free audiobook download there.
Thrawn Alliances comes out in like 3 weeks.
Is that a book?
Yes, it's the sequel to Thrawn, which came out. So it'll take place before Episode 4 with Darth Vader and Thrawn working together. So fun.
Neato. You guys can listen to us at SexyNerdScience.com as always, SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn, or Podcast Addict. And then you guys, Dale, what's the sitch with Project Nerd? We getting back on there?
We are getting back on there. I have already I have a list, if you can't see it, of all the things that we are currently up to date on. We should be good to go as of this podcast launch. We should be our website back up to date, and Project Nerd, all the episodes for season 4 at least, up to date.
Nice.
We
appreciate your diligence, Dale.
Yeah.
Dale, DD. And
he's our chief technology officer. He better be on it.
Yeah. So just to touch on some of our things here, we're still sitting close to 700 likes on Facebook, 300 or 100, 200 followers on Twitter, and weekly listens about 46. So hopefully we can get those up, and we need your help. So check us out. Hit us up if you guys have any questions or want to talk. We're always open. But yeah, anything else, guys?
No, but I think that's it.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody.
I wish I had that keyboard.
Yeah. Wait, just pull it out real quick. No, just hammer.
This isn't awkward.
Wait, Bill and Ted?
Blue, blue, blue. Blue, 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 blue.